Hello, everybody. Welcome along to Championship Game Week 1 match review, weekend review, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for joining us here on Sunday night. This should be now the regular home for these game week reviews. So get it in your diary. Excuse me, just had my dinner. Collect your thoughts. After Saturday, we don't think we're going to get too many Monday night games. Certainly not in the first few months of the season. And we can dissect everything and get everything that's gone on over the weekend all out and sorted and discussed here. Let me know if you're in the comments and you can hear me loud and clear. Hi to Lee. Mini Arca. Is that Julio Arca? Julio Arca's son. George, is that Birmingham or Bristol City? Russ, who's just driven to Gloucester, I think. Kieran, Bournemouth for Mini Arca. There we go. Spurs fans have gone into meltdown. Lovely. Nice and early for them this season. Alex, good evening, sir. Hannah, Kieran says shalom. Hi, Ben. QPR top. There we go. Evening to John. John, sorry. I got a bit emotional about that penalty yesterday. I owe you an apology, mate. Evening to Fintan. George says it's Bristol City and White Hart Day. Right, let's get into it, guys. Help me out here in the comments. Let's comment on the game that we're talking about. We'll go through all of them and then we'll do some Q&A. But it is very apt that Russ is in the chat because this show is brought to you all season by the kindness of our friend Russ, who is the fan sponsor for the Championship Review Show all the way through the season. Thank you so much, Rush, a fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. But we have to let him away with it. We have to let him away with it because he's the fan sponsor. But in all seriousness, thank you to Rush. And if you would like to be a fan sponsor for any of the recurring shows on the channel, then do let me know. Should we have a look at the scores as they came through this weekend? It was Watford 1. Borough 0 in the curtain raiser on Friday night. Then we had two games on Saturday early. It was Wycombe 0, Rotherham 1, Birmingham 1. Last year's playoff final runners-up, Brentford 0. It was Cardiff 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2, starting to eat up that -12. Bournemouth 3, Blackburn 2, Barnsley 0, Luton 1. Great start there for Luton. Bristol City 2, Coventry 1. Great start for the debutant managers, I have to say. Well done, Jason Timber. Well done, Dean Holden there. And well done, Veljko Paunovic. Derby 0, Reading 2. Norwich are back and Farker's winning again in the Championship. Huddersfield 0, Norwich 1. Bad day for Carlos Corberon. QPR 2, Forest 0. And Millwall 0, Stoke 0, which I think I called even down to the score. And let me remove the last banner, although if you're a Preston fan, you're probably not going to want me to, because it was Preston 0, Swansea City 1. We will, as ever, go through from the top of the league downwards, however embryonic, which I'm supposed to say this league table is. So we start at the very top. Our early leaders are Queen's Park Rangers, who were victorious 2-0 over Sabri Lamouchi's Nottingham Forest. Have a look at that QPR team there without Eze. This was Mark Warburton's solution. So Lyndon Dykes' first Championship start. Aside Samuel and Luke, Amos just moved forward a little bit. Ilias Chair, big season for him. Carroll and Cameron. Dickey making his debut there at centre half. And it looks like KK is going to be trusted at right back. Forrest, well, Freeman gets the number 10 position with DaCosta and Lolly either side. Grabban is the main starter. There's no two up top. You can see Lyle Taylor on the bench there. Colback in from the start there. Jordan Gabriel is the replacement so far for Matty Cash. Tyler Blackett gets the nod over Yuri Ribeiro, who was excellent last season. Cannot see him on the bench, so maybe an injury there. 2 goals. Dykes and Chair, the goal scorers. And we should here, if we've got the technology, have some stills for you. Lyndon Dykes, can you see it? Let's play Spot the Ball. Top right-hand corner, excuse me, as Dykes is looking absolutely lashing that penalty home after a foul by Figueiredo. And then late on in that one, get your comments in, by the way, Chair following up to give Rangers a 2-0 win. Lewis says, Ribeiro out tactically. Interesting. Was a good result for us. We struggle against Forest, says Make Me Blue. Dickey and KK were great for us. Excellent stuff. Good start for QPR, not for Forest, who I had in the playoffs, indeed. I was impressed with Amos when we played QPR. I think that's a good sign. Yeah, so he was on loan there last season. I didn't see him as a number 10. So there we go. I'm seeing Norwich comments, Reading comments, lots of stuff. Post them again when we get to their game. I promise, I really do want to read them. Oliver says, was Lyndon Dykes at Livingston last season, or I'm mistaken? He was in Scotland. I think it was Livingston. Yeah, 2 million quid they've paid as well. So ALM Charles says, Grabban missed a few sitters. Could have been a different story. Right, that is QPR, our early league leaders. Let's move on to the next game. Get your comments in on this one as we go. And this one certainly had my 1-24 predictions not looking good after 90 minutes because it was Derby 0, Reading 2. Lucas Zhao is in quite some form at the moment, isn't he? A brilliant performance from him. We'll see that when we see the goals. A goal for him and then an assist for Ejaria. Let's have a look at that Reading team there. Oh, looks like it works on paper, doesn't it? Josh Laurent in from Oxford joins Rinamoto. Swift pushed a little bit further forward. Ejario. Elise, he appeared in my championship 10 youngsters to watch. And Derby, well, Jack Marriott gets the start. Knight, Sibley and Whittaker and Bird all in there. Wow, so many youngsters. Wisdom in there. He gets the nod. I don't know if Nathan Byrne was registered in time. Yes, he was because he's come off the bench there to Eric Clark for Scythe. So here's some stills. That is Lucas Zhao on the near post ahead of his man at the corner. That's already his 4th goal of the season. I know Luton fans are going to be screaming. James Collins has also already got 4. A hat-trick and a goal. And this was a beaut, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant goal, this one. A long ball forward. Zhao, you can see on the edge of the box, just looking at Ejaria, who's about to stroke that in. And it looks like, is it Marshall in goal or is it Roos? Sorry, let me have a look. Marshall. Looks like Marshall's got his angles right and made that hard. And Ejaria is going to stroke it past him to the right. What I loved about that goal, though, it's a back heel, but it's a really beautifully disguised back heel and then perfectly into Ejaria's path. Zhao, we've said about him a lot that he can be astonishingly good for a couple of games and then go missing for 10. So I'll believe it when I see it. He's broken our hearts before, but he looks absolutely on fire, doesn't he? At the moment, let's have a look. Lewis, poor by Derby, really disappointing. Waghorn, Holmes, Lawrence and Rooney all out. Okay, there's something. Josh Viak set to sign on Tuesday. Thank you, Lewis. Great insight. Reading are good away from home if their flair players are allowed to play. Derby didn't turn up. Fair. Reading will do okay this season. Impressed with Paunovic's pressing style. Can't wait to see it. Reading seem to be feast or famine. Yeah, it will be interesting to see if the new coach can change that. Bring some consistency. Surprised by this result and performance. Reading deserved it by some distance. So I have heard. Great setup for the Reading goal as a beaut, wasn't it? Derby really need to improve if Koku doesn't have a good start. There's Rooney lurking, says Jason. Got push gas if Zhao gets injured. Don't need push gas at the moment. There we go. The problem is not away form, it's our home form. Well done, Reading. Certainly surprised me. I had that as a Derby home win, and Veljko Paunovic does the business there in third position. We have Bournemouth. I did predict that they would win this one. A 3-2 victory over Tony Mowbray's Blackburn Rovers there. We'll get to the goals because there is 5 of them. Superb strike that by Jack Stacey. I know there's a crowd, but that's actually going to swing away from the keeper, who is Thomas Kaminski, the new signing, and hit the post and go. It's a brilliant goal by Jack Stacey. Great strike. Get comments on this one, by the way. Not quite such a good strike by Bradley Johnson, and proper through the hands by Travers in the Bournemouth goal there. This is a nice one. Good composure there by Solanke. He knocks that back, and Lerma puts it in. Adam Armstrong, probably the first of many from him this season. Did he play up top, down the middle? Yes, he did. And this was a superb goal. Let me get the name right. Danjuma here. He's run that into the box, cut inside his man. That ball is curling around Kaminski into the far corner. So they showed some character there, Bournemouth. Nice win for them on the opening day. Get your comments in on Bournemouth's opening win there. Not sure Travers is the best short-term replacement for Ramsdale. Didn't appear so at the weekend, did it? Ashley says, we got a bit lucky in this one as we were a bit of a mess. Danjuma will be a force. Looking forward to Danjuma, if that's anything to go by. Bournemouth done okay. Travers looked a bit leaky. Bournemouth let in 2, even without the aid of Archer. Yes, Archer, the ex-Millwall goalkeeper, is on the books there now. Not sure what to think of Bournemouth this season. Relegated team should be strong. I'm not convinced. I wasn't either, but if they can join up the dots and Tyndall can be competent, should be fine, shouldn't they, with the squad? I'd say that with all relegated teams, but never seems to happen. We're surprised to see a Mowbray side involved in such an open game. Yeah, I agree with that. Alex, a few goals in is not Tony Mowbray's thing necessarily, is it? Where are we going next? We're going to Bristol City, who beat Cov 2-1. There, get your comments in on this one. Early goal in this game. I think after about 20 seconds, Jamie Patterson, who's been very good since he came back from Derby on loan, hasn't he, Patterson? I'm just going to pull the mic closer. Let me know if it goes too loud. Equaliser from Godden, and then Thomas Callas with the winner. We can have a look at some stills of those goals. There is Patterson on the end of the cross there. Who from? Wells, was it? Yes, from Nike Wells, who gets a goal contribution after 20 seconds. Great for him. There is Godden. That's rebounded back to him. Cool as you like, because look, lots of bodies there that could have hit, and he finds the back of the net there. And sadly, I don't seem to have Thomas Callas heading in at the back post. There you go. Corner goes to the back post, and Callas heads it in. So Dean Holden, like Veljko Paunovic, gets a win on the opening day. But what are you talking about, Elliot? Dear me. Someone about Leeds there. Archer was only on trial, not been taken on. Okay. I know he'd been across there, hadn't he? Anything else on Bristol City there? I wrote off Dean Holden too quick. Maybe EFL and Quest said Bristol City need to look at playoffs. Well, we'll see. There's just so many unknown quantities in terms of managers with Holden, Tyndall, Paunovic, Ivic. God, there's more, isn't there? But 4 or 5 I've named off. I'm sure I've forgotten one, but there we go. George says, we weren't that good yesterday, but we got the results. So that's the main thing. Probably scored the fastest goal. Yeah, indeed. Cov, unlucky by all accounts. Just wonder if they have the squad to compete down the bottom all season. We'll see. Fintan, Bristol were very lucky. A draw will be fair. How was Dean Holden's style? I don't know if there's any Bristol City in it. Well, we've got some Bristol City in the chat. Let us know. Where are we going next? We are going to Birmingham City, the alphabetically superior of the 1-0 winners here. And we did the watch along with this, so hopefully you tuned in for that. And you will all already know that Jeremy Bella got the only goal. Ollie Watkins, somewhere in Birmingham at Aston Villa, not at this game. And Said Benrahma and David Raya, conspicuous by their absence. The marking also conspicuous by, sorry, a bit blurry there. That's Jeremy Bella moving to the near post. A mix of zonal marking and man-to-man. They didn't pick up Bella, did they? Get your thoughts in on Birmingham beating Brentford in this one. Very textbook Aitor Karanka performance there, absorbing everything and getting the 3 points. Let's have a look here. Stephen says, Blues, great result against Brentford, although we rode our luck at times. Yeah, if you actually watch the, I did it this morning while I was doing my research, watch back the package they put together. It was literally all chances, but only, I was 2 big chances, I think, both felt to Mbuemo. Bella is a good player, really surprised me no one snapped him up. Yeah, it was a really good start. He was a free agent, signed outside of the transfer window last year because he didn't have a club. Blues much more organised with Karanka. I think we can all get behind that. Did Brentford have a huge expected goal potential this game and lost? Yes, we've seen that before, haven't we? Last 20 minutes was scary, but great win. Karanka masterclass. Should have been a draw, really, but if you don't take your chances, yeah, fair. Ivan Sanchez was great, got the assist, didn't I? I did want to see him have a go at Rico Henry a little bit more. Like you said, textbook Karanka win, wasn't it? Just Bella was a ghost. Yeah, in the box he was there, wasn't he? Karanka is a great manager. They looked so good. Brentford slow starters again. Jack, can you DM me that so I can put it in for Diddly Doodah, dearly departed? Give Birmingham credit. It was more than Karanka's tactics than us not performing. Yep, Sanchez was class, said Stephen. How did Tony look? I'm giving Tony a pass on the first couple of games because he's literally not had a big chance since he's played for Brentford, and I've watched both of the games. So if he got the chances and Mbuemo got, I'd be a bit down on him for not scoring. But there we go. Moving along nicely. Where are we going next, guys? We are going to Barnsley. And a great win for Luton. James Collins with the only goal there. Norrington Davis gets a start. No Lockyer there. So it was Pearson and Bradley, which we didn't expect to still be happening this season. And pretty much last year's Luton team. Any new names in for Barnsley? We're excited about Callum Stiles in central midfield. Hellick on the bench there. Freiser on the bench as well. So not blooding any of the new players. And brilliant goal alert. Here we come. That's James Collins winding up. That ball is going to go at about 100 miles an hour into the top corner on the half volley. Collins, like Lucas Zhao, has started this season like, I don't know, Alan Shearer, Ian Rush, Ian Wright, Les Ferdinand, Robbie Fowler. Name any favourite striker there. He looks absolutely fantastic, Collins. 4 goals for him already. Any thoughts on that? What a goal, says Alex. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Brilliant. And Kieran agrees. Collins on fire. Nick says we defended really well. Barnsley only had 1 chance. And that says a lot because Barnsley, even being down at the bottom of the league, always created chances last year. They were always, I think, 3rd in the number of shots per game on target, etc. So really like Collins at Luton. Would be a perfect target man at Derby. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. He'd be really good at Derby. I'm sure Luton have won a pretty penny for him, but Luton have sold before and absorbed. I've seen Jack Stacey scored, hasn't he? And James Justin playing. Luton are a bit special, says Elliot. Not surprised by this. Fancy Barnsley for the drop. Wow. I had Barnsley, where did I have them? 13th, 11th, something like that. 2 teams on the up, like the look of Barnsley, says Jack, and Luton this year be further away from the relegation dog fight. Jay, think Luton and Barnsley will stay up, but I think it'll be close with Barnsley. And Wednesday, did Craney play for Luton? He did not. I do not think, Lee, but We can confirm this before we go to Norwich. Oh no, Craney did play. You're right, Lee. Sorry, big pun. Right, speaking of which, here is the most prototypical Daniel Farke win with Norwich creating 16 shots there, 5 shots on target, 52 on the possession there. Typical Norwich under Farke in the Championship. They get the win in the end from a mistake by Stearman, but it looked like they'd done enough during the game. Debut for Quintea. Aaron's plays. Buendia suspended. Cantwell also started. Possibly at number 10. I think they've got that the wrong way around there. Sofa score. Skip started as well. So new look Norwich. Same Daniel Farke in the Championship, let's just say. That is Adam Eder. Very unselfishly set up by Teemu Pukki, who you can just see on the right-hand side. I think Norwich had a pretty good penalty shout denied as well. But it was a mistake from Stearman to set Pukki away, and then the game really stretched out. Norwich could have got a second. After that, Huddersfield does look a bit worrying, doesn't it? They've just opened with a defeat there, and a lot of people expecting them to not have the best season this year. Let's have a look here. Michael, did you see Placetta's pace for the Norwich goal? It was crazy. He might be the fastest player in the Championship. What, was he catching up the play? I did not see that, but yeah, we've seen extremely fast players in the Championship before. Those who can actually control the ball at that speed end up in the Premier League, don't they? So we'll see. I think Norwich already have a player in Onel Hernandez whose legs go very, very fast, but his maybe his brain doesn't quite keep up sometimes with his magnificent speed. Huddersfield defender Stearman took away a point for Huddersfield, says Mr. Football. Yeah. Ollie says should have 2 pens as well. Ref even admitted it to that. I think I saw the one for Aaron's, which looked a pretty silly decision. I think that looked like a nailed on. Pen, not the top 20 pod, had a good season preview. Check it out at Spotify. Yes, great show, not top 20. What an awful pass that led to, yeah. Stearman knew, didn't he? We had Stearman at Ipswich, seen him at Sheffield United as well. Good player, out character for him, very silly. Pukki did well for the goal. Yeah, there's just something about Pukki, though. In 18-19, he's slamming that into the corner before the keepers even had anything to do. So he needs to just get his mojo back because he was so good, wasn't he? Norwich win games in the Championship. Got to fancy them again this year. Agree. Yeah. We were poor. Well, nice to create 16 shots if you're poor. Russ, big problems there. Huddersfield in major danger there. Don't see much threat going forward. Gaping holes at the back. Is he faster than Diakabi, who's a classic, massively fast player who, doesn't really not do very much with the ball there. Norwich, my favourites for the title, says Callum. Quintea looks better than Lewis. Wow. Considering they just got, we think, the thick end of 13 million for Lewis. Norwich first win without Buendia in the side since he joined the club. Is that really? No way. Is that an actual fact? Goodness me. There we go. Jake Bidwell is the new Roberto Carlos. There we go. Right. Let's move on. Norwich, good start for them there. Canaries. Who we got next? Watford v Borough. We did this on Friday night on the watch along. Craig Cathcart with the only goal. Vladimir Ivic with a 3-4-3 in a game that, we'll bring the stats up in a sec. They could easily have drawn, put it that way. There is Cathcart getting ahead of Grant Hall. Sorry, a bit blurry there, but the reverse angle looked a bit better. And you'll see there 50-50 on the possession, 11-10 to Borough in terms of the shots, 6 corners each. It wasn't necessarily, as we expected, it might be a load of Premier League players with parachute payments destroying Neil Warnock's Borough. Wasn't like that at all. Borough played it around quite nicely, actually, at times. Very light on the bench up top. They really need to get that Zahor deal done if that's happening, because they had nothing behind Sombalonga and Fletcher on the bench. Morsey's been done. He will no doubt join up there as well. They look light at centre half. I think if we examine the evidence, you'll see Jykesteele is a wing back and McNair is a converted midfielder. So pretty unbalanced squad wise. There we go. Let's have a look here. Anything here? Yes. Borough fan here, nothing between the sides, one switch off and we pay for it. Yeah, agree with that, Lewis. Watford's lineup was so weak. Any idea why it was? Weak. Okay, Sarr didn't play and Espin or whatever his name is didn't play, but there we go. Alistair says Watford got the wrong Serbian. Watford weren't great, says Josh, but first game under Ivic, sure we will improve over time. Young players getting accustomed to the Championship. And can I just say welcome to all the Watford fans and Bournemouth fans who are here. Great to have you along. Welcome to the most ridiculous league in the world. Oliver says most exciting moment of the game was when Murray came on. Yes, on the watch along, I did get excited when 36-year-old Glenn Murray came on. Championship bagsman legend there. Seems like a fair few Watford players to leave before the window. Yeah, Delafay will go, Sarr will go. Decore's just won at Spurs already for Everton, hasn't he? So there we go. Morsey is a very Warnock signing. The most Warnock signing maybe in history. What was that point there? I like that, Jack. Could Watford do a Fulham? Not a very strong backline, unbalanced, technically questionable, solid keeper and a squad full of quality. Yeah, maybe. There's no Mitrovic there, though, is there? We did get to see the wonder kid, João Pedro, the 18-year-old, but not the best. If Watford sell Dini, Delafeu and Pereira, they won't go up. Looks like that, my friend, is going to happen. Yes, no Will Hughes as well, although he won't likely be sold, will he? Where are we going next, guys? We are going to Millwall 0, Stoke City 0. I mean, we can talk about the teams. We can't talk about much action there. Stoke 13 shots to 9 in that one, 55-45 in the possession. Big chances, anybody? No, they don't have the stats up there. So presumably there weren't any unless I'm missing it. Millwall, any debuts in there? Scott Malone starts. Otherwise, as you were last year. So, yeah, Millwall kind of strengthening, really, aren't they? I would have expected one of maybe Jed Wallace or Jake Cooper to go out, but no. Stoke, well, James Chester, that's a re-debut, isn't it? John Obi Mikel is a debut there as well. No start for Stephen Fletcher, Jacob Brown, or who was the other guy they brought in? Morgan Fox. So 0-0 there. Two sides we expect to go well. The ones we expect to be hard to beat. They both get a clean sheet and they both don't lose. That's very Michael O'Neill versus Gary Rowett for us. Can see Stoke and Millwall doing well this season. Gary Rowett special. On my preview, hardest game to call. Nothing between them. It was a fairly easy one to call, wasn't it, Lewis? I said low scoring draw, and for once, I was right. Let's have a look here. Alex says terrible game, and he will have watched it. Should we do a Mill? There we go. We'll go away from the mic to do that. Things can only get better, or not. That song reminds me of Tony Blair. Was a Boar Festival? Boar Fest. There we go. Sounds like a Boar draw. Hey, but those two sides will be hard to beat this season. Give us a mirror. I've done it. Hey, Stonewall pen at the end, says Harvey. I haven't seen it, so if you can DM it to me, Harvey, I will have a look. We saw why Jed Wallace is still the Millwall player. Poor final ball and decision making. Interesting. Good point for the Lions, says Terry. Trevor, I'll just read that because he's a Fulham fan. Says we shall be back next season. There we go. Next dearly departed. Not that I want to rave or bemoan a loss. You know, with the yeah, okay. Yeah, don't worry about that. Dearly departed on Tuesday. We'll do that for all you Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield United and Leeds and Villa fans still watching. Millwall hierarchy deserve a lot of credit for building that squad on limited budget. I agree. Stoke were on top. Player was booked for a dive. Never a pen. I haven't seen it. I'll plead the fifth on that. Clean sheet in Millwall is always a good result, says Liam. Good stuff. We expect both of those sides to be hard to beat. Might be one of those results you look back as a Stoke fan and go, okay, that was a decent point. Not that we know the context yet after only 90 minutes of the season. I think we have just the one more game to do. What a start by Sheffield Wednesday, hey? I had them 23rd to be relegated. Well, they've started in the best possible way. They're still on -9 points, obviously. But a superb result against playoff semi-finalists from last season, Cardiff. Josh Windass kind of re-signing. He scores the opener. And Jordan Rhodes, you can still find him. Any debuts in there? Can we see any? Izzy Brown and the re-debut of Josh Windass. Matt Penny, that's an interesting one, out on loan all last season. We saw Emiliano Marcondes go out on loan, come back, and he's now a fixture in that Brentford sort of first 16. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink. For Cardiff, you can see Osei Tutu and Ojo starting together down the right there. Otherwise, looks very much like last season. Now, this is important. There is Josh Windass going through to score. What that does not reveal is that he was played in by Izzy Brown. So within 4 minutes, this is what Izzy Brown does if he stays fit in the Championship. He plays people in and they score. And he's very, very good at it if he can stay fit. They've got a chance if they've gone with Rhodes and Windass and Brown behind. We're here with Kachunga there, who's not really been that prolific. We're hearing about Zohore. I think it'll be a straight battle between Monk and Warnock for Zohore. That would be the one that would prick my interest, let's just say. And I think he might be in ahead of Jordan Rhodes, who you can see there. The Fox in the 6-yard box there, scoring from 3 yards. Nicely worked free kick there. Iorfa, you can see at the top right of your picture, has headed that one across. I think Windass flicked it there, the number 10. Rhodes puts it in. Great start. Sheffield Wednesday. I am impressed, I have to say. Let's have a look. Not a result I've seen coming. Cardiff home banker, I thought. Yeah, I think I was with you. Gary Monk hates Cardiff. Well done, Wednesday. A tough game to start with. Lee says, oh, that's from a Sheffield United point of view about Brewster. God, Sheffield Wednesday, Brewster. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Kiefer's debut, of course. You're right, Wolf. Yeah. Kiefer Moore debut there. I just assumed that he'd always played for Neil Harris up top and headed the ball 1,000 times. I think the -12 might have clouded people's view of Wednesday. Still a decent, just a shame about that. Hey, you might be right, Oliver. Might be right. Still no news on the Mendes. I'm not speculating about anything to do with Fight Club, betting, infidelity, PEDs, anything of that nature. There will be no speculation here about any of those things. James Beattie doing his work. Yeah, we know what happens when James Beattie and Gary Monk get together at a club. A striker scores a whole ton of goals, don't they? Great start for Wednesday. One hell of a handicap. Yeah, I calculated about 60 points. We expect 46 would keep you safe. There just might be a situation there if Wycombe and Rotherham don't go well, and I hope they do. I hope they have a great season, where you might get too artificially low, which means third bottom might be raised artificially high. But they might not be whipping boys. We do not know. In fact, have I missed them out? I must have missed out Rotherham, haven't I? Let me just do a little scroll up and see if we can find... I think I've missed them out, haven't I? No, I haven't. Apologies. Rotherham, sorry. Let's just go back and do this one. Let me remove John's comment there. We better do Wycombe 0, Rotherham 1. What a start for Rotherham. A 92nd minute winner from Michael Ihekwe there. New signings, ahoy anywhere. Jamal Blackman in goal. Wes Harding at right back. Kieran Sadlier on the left wing. And for Wycombe, let's have a look through there. Only Daryl Horgan making the start up top. It will come as no surprise to anybody that the goal in this game was from a set play. And there is Michael Ihekwe powering that one in. You can see where that one's going to Allsop's left in the Wycombe goal. Lovely stuff indeed. Right. Have I done all of that? Any comments on Rotherham Wycombe, guys? Other than Wolf saying you missed Wycombe, yeah. Wycombe need the beast back. I don't know how many minutes he'll get. Cash get started in that one. Not a great start for Wycombe. Going to be a tough season. Yes, first win in 27 months for Norwich without Buendia starting. There we go. Wednesday were top away scorers last season. That's a weird stat, isn't it? You're the only person to miss Rotherham. Tremendous. There we go. Wycombe too small for the division, but stranger things have happened. You sound like me, Jack. That that result could mean all the difference for Rotherham in the end. Could be a 6-pointer. Who knows? Ainsworth paired a biker jacket with a desert boot. Yeah, I want to do a David Brent and put my Cuban heel up on the table there. Controversial. This is one of the few I had Wickham winning as well. Yeah, not good. Not good. Right, we'll do some Q&A in a sec. First of all, let's have a look at that table. Nicely split indeed here because we only had one draw between Millwall and Stoke. So well done to all of those teams, off to a winning start. Lots of clean sheets in there as well. Hard to really judge anything. Well done to Sheffield Wednesday at the bottom. I mean, looking at it very, very early, you would not expect at many points this season to see QPR, Reading and or Luton, Birmingham all in the top 6, or any of them in the top 6. You would also not expect to see Forest, Derby, Cardiff in the bottom 6. So it will shake out. Let's have a look at some performers. No surprise there on this first game week. Lucas Zhao is on fire. So is Jamie Patterson. Callas with a goal from centre-half from Cathcart. Windass Chair, Klukas, Ihekwa, Foster and Bialkowski already doing bits in the Millwall goal. Please don't cry about that top 10. It's completely numerologically generated there, completely done by stats there. So don't give me a whole load of comments saying so-and-so played well. It's just the sofa score stats. I would be interested in your thoughts here. I put a poll up on YouTube. Performance of the weekend goes to Sheffield Wednesday, 31%, 29% going for Reading at Derby, so not much in it there. So well done to Sheffield Wednesday. Goal of the weekend, 38% went for Ejaria and that lovely assist by Zhao, and Danjuma, 22%. Oh, no, sorry, excuse me. Collins, 24% in second, with Danjuma, 22% in third. If I can figure it out, for goodness sakes. Right, let's do some Q&A for a little bit and see what you want discussed. Millmore, that's Iain, I think, isn't it? One away win all season in 18-19. Monkey off our back, very much so. Great start. Who do you see as an ideal target man for Derby that Koku wants to lead the line? Well, I think it was your shout earlier, Lewis. James Collins would do a decent job. Obviously, the one being linked with Championship clubs at the moment is Ken Zahor, who doesn't seem to be very wanted over at West Brom. So, yeah, either of those would do. I'm sure Koku will have his eye on something in Holland or Turkey or something of that nature. So, let's have a look here. Bart made his 50th appearance for Millwall yesterday. Kept his 17th clean sheet. He's a machine. Yeah, Bart really finding his home there. Not at Ipswich, where he was superb for Ipswich, apart from that last season. Kept his 17th clean sheet. Great stuff. Well done, Bart. Good guy as well. Wolf's going to take 11th for Millwall straight away. There you go. Jim says, if Wednesday get the -12 shifted on appeal, we'll be buzzing. Hey, the EFL have been caught with their pants down in worse ways than Wednesday getting their -12 shifted on appeal. So I'll say it. Here we go. Benjamin Bloom, bingo. Stranger things have happened, let's just say. Boca, QPR could be the surprise package. Well, good start. Depth-wise, and when you look at some of the players, the likes of Norwich and Bournemouth and Brentford and Watford, even Forest have Cardiff. It would have to be a real team effort for QPR. Some of the parts there, I think. White Hart Dane, I could see Wednesday still on -12 after 3 games. Didn't expect them to win at Cardiff, yeah. Great start. Get the questions coming. Chair is sick, says Hugo. He hasn't got COVID, has he? Oh, he's sick. He's good. He's excellent, as the kids say. Please indulge me. A quick plug here. You can support via Super Chat. Right now, every little helps here. Over on Patreon or Amazon.co.uk/shop/the Benjamin Bloom Football channel. If you're watching now and you're new to us here, please subscribe on YouTube. We have 12,180 something subscribers. So nearly 12,200. Help us get up there and join what I consider to be the greatest think tank in the Championship sphere here, space, if I'm allowed to say that. And keep questions coming, and we'll do another 20 minutes or so, probably. Normally works out that way. If Lucas João brings consistency in his game, Reading can make playoffs. Well, at the rate he's going, yeah, he could drag, if you're going to be scoring and assisting every game, he can drag someone. Always, we've seen him right from the Sheffield Wednesday days where he looked powerful and skillful and explosive and all of those things. Just never put even a half a season together, has he? So, what are your thoughts on the incoming Kamil Josviak to Derby? A lot of hype around him. Certainly a lot of hype. Lots of Derby fans contacted me to tell me about him. He is a left winger. Am I right? I'll plead the fifth until I've seen him play. But yeah, excited as ever. Can't have too many great players in the Championship. QPR forever says Carroll played well. A great range of passing. I really like Carroll. I remember the Villa fans were a little bit when Dean Smith took him on loan from Swansea. A little bit. What's this? But I thought in any passing team, a kind of fulcrum type player circulating the ball, I think Carroll is very good. Can't believe the amount of top flight clubs in this division. Many great fan bases. Nice. I'd be interested to see if Blues getting forward wise. Sounds like Hogan and one more. Interesting. I suspect the one more may be Spanish, John. We will find out. João just needs the attitude to go with his skill. Yeah, quite. João is class. Shame he gets injured all the time. Derby should have kept Chris Martin for that role. I think the whisper is that perhaps Chris Martin was on a bit of a Mel Morris-esque deal there. I think Koku just wanted to move on from that stuff. Rodden, Guay and Cabango all have very bright futures, which gives me another chance, William, to plug my 10 to watch young players in the Championship because Ben Cabango was one of them. Go give it a look here. If Derby wanted to buy Zohore, they instantly become favourites to sign him. We need to cash. Interesting. Okay, that's from the West Brom perspective there. This week reminded me of something I didn't want to be running off. Preston are in desperate need of a striker, but we were too poor together. And I saw our friend Ben HD tweeting something very similar, and he's normally pretty on the money with stuff like that. It just feels like Preston, Barkhazen gets to go, Maguire gets to go, Nugent is just kind of there because he wants to finish his career there. Stockley, well, he's the big option. And it's like, who's the striker? And there's a few teams in the market now, aren't they? I think QPR need another one. Derby obviously need one, from what everyone's saying. Middlesbrough need one. Preston need one. There could be a big bun fight here for strikers. Paul Warren is a decent manager. Sooner or later, the stability at Rotherham will pay off and they'll stay up. Yeah, they're playing a long game, aren't they, Dane? Rotherham. It's just that while you're yo-yoing, you've just got to keep improving and improving. So how possible do you think a QPR top 6 finish is, asked Hugo. Unlikely, I have to say. I think there's a lot of traffic. But I think if they keep that core 11 fit and Dickey and Carroll and Dykes all integrate well and they don't miss Eze too much, although, what do they call it in basketball? The Ewing fallacy or whatever, where there was a player called Patrick Ewing, very much like James Madison at Norwich, where you have one player who's way better than everyone else. So you rely on him too much. And then all of a sudden, when that guy goes, other people all step up. And the effect of all of those people stepping up is greater than having Eze, Madison, Patrick Ewing, or whoever it is. So you don't know. Big season for Chair, isn't it? And it's nice to see he started with a goal in the first game. So we know what Rangers are going to do. It's just a matter of how open they are and how many games it wins them, isn't it? Keep your hands off Collins. Well, he's sticking a big advert above his head by keep scoring, though, isn't he? I suppose the best thing he can do is get himself suspended until October the 6th. It's not that far away now, actually, is it? What date are we today, guys? We are September 13th. So still another 3 weeks of transfer window. And hey, it only takes a giant bid, doesn't it? And let's be fair, Luton have sold for good prices with Stacey and Justin. So they would expect good money. You don't know, do you? I think we've read that one, haven't I? I see Wednesday doing well. And Villa signed players Bertrand Traoré from Lyon and Martinez for Arsenal. Nice. We'll have a look at that on Dearly Departed. What are my thoughts on Guay Rodden as a centre-back pairing? Yeah, like that a lot. I was bemoaning Van der Horn going, but that looks absolutely fine. Jim, what a very, very lovely, kind gesture. Thank you so much. A 30, but huge super chat. Thank you, Jim. I'm on the water tonight, I have to say, but thank you so much. That's really, really kind of gigantic super chat. Thank you so much, Jim. Very, very, very kind. It really, really helps. Let's have a look. Thank you again, Jim. Super, super kind. Loads of questions here. I'm scrolling up. Where are we going? Doucouré done well on his debut. Haven't beat a top 6 side away for the first time since 2015. And Bristol City win. Happy days. There you go. Evening to Jamie, who has a Leeds shirt in there. Good start to the season for Ipswich. Are you still pessimistic? Of course I am. It's part of the job. The problem with Zhao is that he has the odd game like on Saturday, but he doesn't do it often. Started last season in the same way, didn't he? Scored in his first couple of games and then the nosedive, wasn't it? What did you think of the Leeds-Liverpool game? Ratchford, I'll cover that on Dearly Departed, but it's ridiculous, wasn't it? Why should Sheffield Wednesday succeed in their appeal? Only because of EFL ineptitude and the sheer length of time it took them. There is an argument on Wednesday's appeal that Wednesday could quite reasonably, I think, argue that the EFL, when they first put the stadium sale through, should have told them then, therefore you could put the sanction all the way back in the 18-19 season where they were 24 points above relegation and it's just done with. I'm not saying they should, but I think that's what their lawyers will argue, let me just say. Do you think no fans in the minute stages affect the biggest clubs with the best atmosphere? We've seen all kinds of theories, Jay. Give me a few more games to look at it, but there's no evidence of that so far. Generally, the cream has risen and results have gone as we pretty much thought they would after lockdown. So we just need a bit more context this season. Now, QPR forever, we need 3 or 4 signings, another striker, which they do need. It was lovely last year having Wells and Hugel for one position. But as we've seen, we think Norwich have dropped sort of the thick end of £5 million on Hugel after add-ons, and it's undisclosed. So please don't argue with me about fees. And Wells, we think, was about 4 million as well. So they're trying to replace about 9 million quid's worth of striker, aren't they? Reading him with a shout at the playoffs. Let's give it a bit more time before we make any judgments on that. The slagging off of Obi on Wigan Twitter is absolutely appalling. Oh dear. Young guy Obi. I know he missed a free header, but not nice to see. There we go. RIP super stickers. Are they gone? I don't realise. James has subbed. Thank you, sir. Millers v Millwall reminds me of the last time we met. Yes. That would have been exactly the same game, wouldn't it? Game number 2, 18-19. Nice one, Iain. Yes, Dearly departed on Tuesday. We've just got to wait for Sheffield United and Wolves to play before I can cover that. I'm very excited too, though. Interesting that Rowett started yesterday with Bodvarsson in the 9 role. Does that mean he doesn't fancy Bradshaw or he thought we'd need the height against the Stoke centre-halves? Alex, generally with Millwall, I would bow to your superior knowledge on that. Either theory holds up. Bradshaw wasn't bad last season. They're just very different types of players. And in the Championship, that physicality does particularly help. And obviously, Bodvarsson and probably all of us in the chat are more mobile than Matt Smith, despite him being an absolute unit in the air. So Swans away days, very good win for us. I think our defence has the potential to be the best in the Championship. Certainly at centre-back, yeah, very, very much so. Although I do like the look of an Alfie Mawson, Thomas Callas at Bristol City type thing. Good win for Ipswich against Wigan. Yeah, let's not get carried away, guys. Katie, I think we have a decent argument. Yeah, that was my argument. What do you think to Luton's 1-0 win against Barnsley? Great stuff, Daniel. Loving it. And the goal by Collins was voted by 22% as the second best goal of the weekend. Very good win for us. We didn't start Carl Norton either. And that's the argument against it. Katie says you can't really go back. Yeah, retroactively doing everything. How are my goldfish? Well, the goldfish are downstairs now. We have got 3 or 4 guppies loving life in the bright blue tank there. Indeed. Swansea squad looking good. Replaced what they had from last season fairly well. Couldn't spend much. Gibbs White could be a standout. Yeah, Gibbs White started well. It's just that they did have Rhian Bruce to fire them into the playoffs towards the end of the season. So just need to see a striker. So there's another team, Swansea, in the market for a striker. Swansea play. I might as well just stick AU up top there. So let me just have a look, see if I can. Sorry, I'm faffing, aren't I, guys? There it is. No, that's what for Borough. Oh, dear. AU and Jamal Lowe. So basically play 2 wide players nominally up top with Gibbs White kind of coming in. So that may work. Who knows? Let's have a look here. Just something on Ipswich. Ben, what's the situation on Jack Lancaster? Yes, he's back training. I think they're going to ease him in. Ipswich have the most bloated, unbalanced squad you would ever imagine to see. So, yeah, we'll see. To be fair, when Zhao was at us, he never got to play. He had 6 strokes. I do remember Wednesday at one point, and CLC will correct me. I think they had Forestieri, Hooper, Fletcher, Rhodes, Zhao, and Winnell. And I think they were paying all of them pretty good salaries as well. So, Warburton, best manager we've had since Warnock. I think that's unarguable, isn't it? Carroll, most technical player Swansea had for a while. Very much a confidence player. Interesting, says Jam. Make sure you put Bournemouth in your both teams to score Ackers, guaranteed every week. Yeah, good shout. Ben, how are you? I'm good, Paul. Villa got win over Man United 1-0 in a friendly, and Watkins scored. Nice, good start for him. Elliot, Jefferson Lerma is perfect for this league. Wins pretty much every second ball and looks very physical. Yeah, I mean, that does describe in the Championship, the physicality, if you don't have it, unless you were like Norwich 18-19, basically had Steeperman and Godfrey and Krill and no other physicality, but they're so good on the ball, weren't they? You do need it. So, yeah, looking forward to Lerma. It's just how many I've heard half of those Bournemouth names linked away with other stuff. So imagine we got Charlie Austin back. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah. Bristol should cash in on Jeju. He would buy a deal for Derby. And I think Koki would look abroad. So yeah, maybe. Remember, I think Jeju went for 6 million a couple of years ago. Expensive player, Jeju. He's not really given Bristol City 6 million quid worth of value, has he, to be honest? Preston punched above their weight for a few seasons. Yeah, I agree with that. Done really well, haven't they? I think Keenan Davis for any championship. Yeah, he could go out on loan, couldn't they? We need a striker, please, or I suppose we could select Matt Smith. There we go. Norrington Davis played well yesterday. Yeah, if you want to watch my video on 10 youngsters to watch from the Championship, Reece Norrington Davis was in there. Loving Luton's no alarms and no surprises approach. Points make prizes. Well said, Steve. There we go. I'll throw that up again. Thank you so much, Jim. A very, very kind super chat there for £30. Really, really helps a brother out. I've been to work today as well, so I'm trying to get to do this full time. We're working towards it. No one in the champ can afford Austin's wages. What is he on? Big money. That's sad to hear, Jim, but good. I had bad anxiety lately and watching your videos. Jim, DM me if you're ever struggling. Get on Skype. Just chat. I think a lot of people have had anxiety. It's been a crappy year, hasn't it? So, yeah, if the videos are any kind of a distraction, then superb. And thank you very much. And remember what's happened in this group generally of subscribers. If someone's having a crappy time, there's a lot of support in that chat, and there's some good people here. So good luck with everything, Jim, and thank you again. Here comes the myth. There we go. We have Eze's young brother, and he has the potential to be better than his own. Everyone says that about the brothers, don't they? The younger brother's always going to be better. And the Wallace brothers, there was a younger one as well that was better. And we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. I've been told about the younger Bellingham brother at Birmingham as well. Again, I'll believe it when I see it. I heard on Sky the other day about EFL dealings don't finish until mid-October. Have you heard that? What transfers? It's October the 6th. However, foreign ones, I think, can go to October the 16th. I don't know. Well, someone will probably correct me in the chat. I don't know whether that's inbound or just outbound. So it might be that you can still sell to Europe after the 5th, and you probably can't buy. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. I need to read up on that. But definitely domestically, no one's doing any business between two English clubs after October the 5th. Maxwell, Windass was amazing yesterday. Goal and an assist. Him having man management from his former manager from Accrington. Did he play for Accrington? Wow, I'm assuming we're talking about James Beattie. There. Shaylee's giving Jim love heart there as well. You're still in the bath, Shaylee? No, I think she shouted back, yeah. Anyone who wants Austin is welcome to take him. Try to offload him. 60 grand a week. Wow. God. No one will even pay half of that in the Championship, will they? God. To be honest, to be fair to Charlie Austin, I'd sit on the 60 grand a week too. EFL appealed Derby's case. Yeah, of course the EFL have appealed everything. What a mess it is, dearie me. 10 to watch. Ben Wiles, creative active. Yeah, great stuff. Please, guys, if you watch my 10 to watch, please in the comments underneath put the ones from your club. I'd love to hear. In the words of Jarvis Cocker, when you're saying the cream rises to the top or floats. Yeah, absolutely. Rampant Ram is just avoided the naughty step there by saying I can turn water into wine. Rampant Ram is a Patreon, so they're kind of exempt from the naughty step anyway. But there we go. I think Ipswich could have scored 5 or 6, but we could have got 3 or so too. Yeah, God. Yeah, please don't judge Ipswich or Wigan on this first game. Jarvis's class. Do you want to hear my Jarvis Cocker story? Here we go. I'll do it really quickly. I played at V Festival in 2007 with my band, and we were on one of the big stages early on. Jarvis Cocker Pulp were long done, so it was 2007. And Baby Shambles went on, and obviously huge because Pete Doherty was massive then. So I wanted to get side of stage for Baby Shambles. I kind of worked my way in, and I'm watching Baby Shambles from side of stage, and there's loads of people around. I just turn around, and there's Jarvis Cocker there, and I think, I want to engage with this guy, but play it cool, Trig, play it cool. I got him as we were all walking off, and then afterwards, there's always loads of beach balls at festivals. A few came over. I had a game of one bounce with Jarvis Cocker with a beach ball side of stage at V Festival 2007. God's honest truth. God's honest truth. So I've played one bounce with a beach ball with Jarvis Cocker. That is my Jarvis Cocker story. Go on, beat that one. I bet you can't. Thoughts on Huddersfield Town, Ben? Asked Shivani. I am a bit worried. And just look at where the other parachute teams are shopping. And then you see Naby Sarr come in from relegated Charlton. And it's an untried manager, and Carlin Grant's not anywhere to be seen. I'm a little bit worried, I have to say. But there we go. Hey, screw it, whoa, skeet, hey, screw it. Thought you heard, we're singing here. I thought that was going to be Man's Not Hot there, but I'm not very cool, so I don't really know which song that is. Henry says, good win for Bournemouth yesterday. Do you think we can make a push for playoffs? I've said the whole time, I had Bournemouth to finish 14th with the caveat, if they can cope with the chaos, i.e. Eddie Howe not being there and that being a stabilising factor, and the transfer window and lots of movement, then if they can cope with that, Tyndall only has to be competent, and of course they'll make the playoffs. But I just saw too much chaos there. I'm happy to be proven wrong. There's always one I get massively wrong, isn't there? Or 2 or 3. They're all good pairings. I think Gibson and Godfrey could prove head and shoulders. Yeah. Ben Gibson not even in the team for Norwich yet. God, their squad is stacked, isn't it? I'm slower than Smith, but I've got my stick to Bellabore the sender. What does Bellabore mean? The sender. I assume that means beat them about, Wolf. Yeah. I'm hoping that Wednesday we'll get someone in to play alongside Rhodes. Monk talking about Reach as a striker. Oh dear. I know Reach has got a magnificent long-range shot on him, but striker, he ain't. Charlie, hi. I know this isn't much compared to you, but only started in June. Hit 300 subs. Oh, well done, Charlie. That's wonderful news. Oxford lost, though, so it wasn't a perfect day. Charlie, did Sam Winnall play for Oxford yesterday? I'm interested to see how he goes. I'm sure the Wednesday fans are. Go and sub to Charlie. Get him ahead there. Right. We are up the hour here, so I am going to say thank you very, very much indeed, everybody, for tuning in. 150 people in the chat. Please all hit that like button right now. Thank you again to Jim for the gigantic super chat in there. So kind. As ever, you can support on Patreon, but in the meantime, just please hit that like button and subscribe. I think we're on Q&A tomorrow night, so we'll be here again tomorrow at 7. Dearly Departed will be during the day on Tuesday. That we'll be doing EFL Cup during the day on Tuesday as well. And I'll be doing the Ipswich game late on Wednesday night, if that floats your boat, maybe if you're a Fulham fan. And we'll be back for the Championship preview. Will be live on Thursday at 7. And we'll be doing the Wednesday EFL Cup review and the Fantasy League. I dare say I did have Mohamed Salah as captain and he scored a hat-trick, so I'm looking forward to looking at the table after that's all done. And on Friday night, who are we doing? Coventry versus QPR. So loads and loads of stuff. Right, quickly before you go, stick your name in if you want a shout-out. Lock, yes, big shout-out. Big shout-out to Jim. Hope everything's okay. DM me. Thank you to QPR. Shout out there. Alex. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Eco Terrorist. We all had him as captain. There we go. Great job. Yeah, I dabbed. I worked in a primary school for the last 4 years. Of course, I dabbed. There we go. Fantasy League code Hugo is my friend. T5QBR0. T5QBR0. Come and join the wonderful world of the Fantasy League. Enjoying the show. Ashley, welcome along. Bournemouth and Watford fans. All the Norwich fans have been here before, so welcome back. I'm at a wedding this weekend. There you go. Thank you, Nick and Jim and Mick and Katie up the Wigan and Matthew and John. I accidentally walked into Beckham once when Blues were in the Prem. And I'm in proper walk. God, that could have been a big insurance claim. Trevor, come and join us on the Ipswich channel for Fulham. And shout out to Mike there, Watford fan, in there. I have done every game, Alex. No timestamps yet because we're live. Right, thank you, everybody. Let's just give one more shout out to Russ, who is the fan sponsor for this show. A fan and now a friend, despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. You can see our friend Russ is a Norwich fan there in that picture. You too, if you want to, can sponsor any of the recurring shows. The preview show and the review show are done. But Dearly Departed, if you're one of our leads, Fulham, West Brom, Sheffield United, Villa fans, you can still have that one. Fantasy League is up for grabs as well. Get involved. Right. Thank you all so much. Ask away tomorrow night, Q&A, 7 p.m. So more of the same. Those shows tend to be real fun. Any more? Oh, wow. Outstanding. Jay, thank you so much. £14.94 on a super chat. I will drink to that. Thank you so much. Lee, Fred, shout out. Well done, Hugo. You found us. Fred likes my shirt. Matt, thank you. Right. I'm going to bid you all farewell. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jay and Jim, for those wonderful super chats. It really does make the world of difference at the moment to me really honing down this road and making it my living or having to pick up more and more work elsewhere. So thank you very much, everybody. And I will see you all very soon. Tomorrow night, Ask Away and loads of shows more during the week. Over and out.